K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hello and welcome to Sunday morning tailgate. Sorry guys, had a little brain fart there. Our final episode for the year. We're going to recap everything that's kind of happened and look forward to free agency, the draft, and the upcoming season. So today I am Big B, the quarterback of the crew. Next to me I got my big fullback, Pay him in bacon. His name is Crispy Bacon. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good. And then down there, I got my wideout. If he messes around, he might catch you for $130 and 3 touchdowns. Dave Messeround, how you doing?
Just call me the water boy because I'm not running. Y'all know this.
I'm not really. Yeah, and sooner or later we'll be joined by Loro, who's having a little bit of issues right now. So, guys, last week Super Bowl. Dave, what you think?
Of the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first quarter was good. The second and third were okay, and then the last quarter was good too. I like the first and fourth. The halftime show is my favorite part of the show. Eminem, Dre, Snoop, 50, Mary J. Blige. I thought it's not the best halftime show ever, but it's up there.
Okay. Chris, how about you?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, I'm glad it was competitive, but I feel like the refs, and I'm glad they did, let the players, play their own game and not throw too many flags. Although I thought it was kind of crazy at the end, they did, but I don't know. I mean, it was a good game. Glad it was competitive. I'm kind of mixed on the halftime, but Super Bowl was good as always. It's one of the biggest games, and I can see why.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Dave, Chris. I'm kind of with you too. The Super Bowl was just first quarter, third or fourth quarter were good. Second half started off with a missed call on face mask that LA Ram fans think or forgot about, but the Cincinnati Bengals fans are complaining about the last drive, like Chris said with the flag. So a halftime show to me just I liked all the talent there. I think they could have done without Mary J. Blige, but I don't know. Maybe it was just because I wasn't at a Super Bowl party or didn't have people over to watch the game with. I just really thought it was just a typical football game. To me, didn't seem like an atmosphere for a Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
but today, if you guys, want another Super Bowl type performance, you got the Daytona 500. That's their Super Bowl. So, got some good racing today. But so with that being said, guys, Stafford gets his ring. Let's talk about retirement. Right now, where do we see the Rams? Do we see the Rams, one and done, or do we think they're gonna bring the train back and go for another one? Chris?
They're going to try to bring everybody back. I mean, every team can't be like Tampa Bay, bring all 22 players back, but I think they're going to attempt, to bring everybody back and make another run at it, but it's just hard to do, and I think the Rams will be back, maybe not this year, but maybe next year. They don't have any draft picks. I think they're low on cap space, and it's just going to be hard to get players to the Rams. So I think their main thing is to sign who they got.
Okay, mess around. How about you? What do you think the next step for the Rams are?
It's always hard to read. It's hard to win one, let alone multiple. And to stay healthy and to bring back something other. I mean, who knows if they bring Odell Beckham Jr. back? They get Robert Woods back from injury. They might not need Beckham. I know they said they want to bring him back, but after the way he played with the Rams, he's going to be in high demand. A lot of teams are going to want to throw money at him because he played like the Odell Beckham Jr. of old. So, and then Von Miller's also a free agent. Who knows if he hangs it up or comes back? And Donald's still up near about retirement. So, we'll see what happens. Free agency's a month away.
What's that, Chris?
I was going to say even their coach is kind of, on the border of I want to come back, but I want to retire. So
Yeah, but I think that was all kind of settled at the parade. They kind of all said they're going to run it back.
His wife came out and squashed that.
McVay's
Yeah.
wife?
Yeah.
So now the wives are playing the agents. Okay, I get it. I get it. So
that wouldn't be the first time.
yeah, exactly. So I hope they run it back. It'd be nice to have, I don't want to see a dynasty type like the Patriots, but it'd be cool to, not be one and done and then you fall to last place. So hopefully they keep everybody intact. They don't have any draft picks until 2025, I believe. Or they don't
I
have
think
first
you're
round
right.
pick. They don't have a first round pick until 2025.
Yeah.
So right now, I think it's easy for us to say the Rams won that trade with the Lions. I think. I mean,
Yeah.
for sure.
100%.
What do we think the Lions have to do to reverse that and win the trade? Is there any way for them to reverse it? I mean, Dave, what do you think?
Jared Goff would have to win multiple Super Bowls for the Lions to win that trade.
Oh, they would have to nail the draft picks. I mean,
And that too.
I think just making it to the playoffs is good. Let's just go there for now.
well, that would be step one. But I mean, I think I'm with Dave is that they got to nail the draft picks, and they're gonna have to at least get to the game at least once to kind of even out the trade. Because right now, Stafford, and you gave up, you got two picks and Goff. I mean, for the Lions, yeah, they're going to have to nail the picks and at least get to the playoffs to call this kind of an even trade. So, sorry to say, what's up?
The Rams had to win that Super Bowl to win that trade. I mean, to make that trade what it was, make it good for them, they had to win that Super Bowl. Because imagine if they would have lost, how many people would say, like, oh, they're Stafford of old. He got the game, but he didn't win it.
No, exactly. They threw it out there to win it. Lions did make the playoffs with Stafford, but never won. Yeah, you're right, Sarge. They did. So,
That's true.
for them, I think they definitely got to win the make the play, make the Super Bowl and nail those draft picks. So, with that being said, are we seeing a new kind of negotiating type where teams are gonna, if they feel they're gonna be one piece away from the Super Bowl run, like the Rams, uh, trade the future for that one and done and run? I mean, what do you think, Dave? How do you think teams are gonna start building now?
I don't know, because the draft picks are such a hit and miss thing that, like, teams are going to be like, you never know what you're going to get, but with this guy, we know what we're getting. We're getting an all-pro. We're getting a multiple-time Pro Bowler. This guy's good, but with the draft pick, you don't know what they're going to be for maybe even 2-3 years down the road. So it depends on the GM, really. I know a lot of GMs like to build through the draft, and it all really depends on your team, how close they are, and what the GM likes to do.
Chris, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Dave. I think draft picks are hit and miss. I think you're better off at the moment, at least right now, getting somebody in free agency because you either watch film on them or you've played them so many times in the year or throughout the years that you kind of get an idea of how they are compared to the draft where you only have college film to work off of and maybe you attended some bowl games, but I think it's a little easier to get free agents than it is, draft picks.
Yeah, no, I guess we'll see what the next team does, but we know the NFL's a copycat league, and if the Rams, pulled this trade off, one guy away, they added some key free agents, and they made the run. I can see other teams picking this up, like Tampa, maybe even Tennessee if they feel they're a quarterback away, go out and get that superstar quarterback, and let's go, keep everybody healthy. So, I mean, yeah, draft picks are good for the future, but I think if you're one piece away, I could see maybe doing a couple picks here and going for gold right away. So we'll see what happens. But you know, what other moves stand out to you guys? I mean, we talked about Odell, we talked about Von Miller with the Rams. What other moves kind of stood out to help their team out. Dave,
As far as draft or free agency or anything.
free agency. People sign drafts. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
whatever.
Probably Von Miller going to the Rams late in the season and Beckham also signing. Those are two huge pieces. I mean, Von Miller didn't play well right away, but he showed up in the playoffs when it mattered most.
Chris, how about you? Any other moves kind of stuck out to you this year?
I would kind of agree with those two, but I'm going to go out and say maybe Stafford. I mean, he was on
Yeah.
vacation, in
Yeah.
the off season, and they called him up and say, "Hey, we want to bring you on the team, and we're putting everything all out there, and in hopes of a Super Bowl." And maybe during the season they didn't feel like they were gonna get there, but then, like you said, Dave, they added Von Miller and Beckham and all these other pieces mid-season, and I think that helps too.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I can't think of another move or two. I mean, unless you go back to the draft, you could say Parsons for Dallas, but
Chase for Bengals.
Yeah, exactly. Chase for the Bengals. I mean, I don't recall any. I'm trying to do my bit here, Sarge. You got me. Cam Newton going to the Panthers. Panthers have failed. Yeah. Eric Weddle, yeah. But yeah, those moves that the Rams made, I think, are key to this year's free agency. So moving on, and again, guys, hopefully Low Roll will be on shortly to get some takes here, but we'll move on. Sarge is in the comments area commenting. So moving on. So outside of your own team and division, so David be the Bears in the North, Dallas in the West or East, and myself with the North. Give us a team or player that you're looking forward to this off season to kind of see what they do. So, Chris, I'll start with you.
I think maybe I said it on Four Bros. I can't remember, but I'm going with the Bengals and Burrow. I mean, he's played really well. His first two seasons. First year, kind of got injured mid-season, so that kind of fell through. And then this year, he came back and got comeback player of the year, led the Bengals to the Super Bowl, even though they didn't win, but he got them there. And I would like to see what happens in year 3. Can they get back to a Super Bowl? Can they get close to a Super Bowl? Or is it just a one and done thing? I'm not sure, but that's kind of who I'm thinking of.
All right. Burrow the Bengals. All right. Dave, how about you?
For me, it's not just a player. It's a whole division, like the AFC West. I can't wait to see those quarterbacks continue to grow, like Herbert, Mahomes, and who am I missing?
Carr.
Yeah, those guys. Because like Justin Herbert proved to us all that. Like I thought it might have just been a fluke. Maybe he just had one good year, and then you expected him to hit that sophomore wall, and he just blew right through it and just kept going. So seeing the continuation of him develop and get better and turning into that all pro and putting up great numbers like he has. So seeing that, I just, and if Aaron Rodgers gets to Denver, oh my God, that division's going to be a fun one to watch next year.
Yeah, no doubt. Sarge will answer your question here in a second. Good question. For me, it comes down to the teams that got new coaches and some of the quarterback openings. You got Pittsburgh, you got Bucks, you got Denver, like Messerow said. You got I know I'm missing a team there. The Saints. And then also with the new coaches in place, you kind of see where they develop their teams and how they move forward. So that's kind of where I'm leaning towards is watching these new coaches, with these new teams and the quarterback movement. And speaking of quarterback movement, Sarge's question: will Russell stay in Seattle? That's been a big topic, just like Rodgers. Chris, what do you think? Does Russell stay in Seattle? I actually saw a good trade rumor, so I'll get to that. But what do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't see why not he would want to go anywhere else. I know the production has been kind of down, but I wouldn't see why you wouldn't want to leave. I mean, this is what your first or second year out of the playoffs in your time in Seattle. You've been to 2 Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl. I think he has an okay position uh, in Seattle.
Okay, Dave, what do you think?
Who knows? It's all drama. Like this year and last year, so much drama with Russell Wilson. Is he going to stay or is he going to go? Last year at Chicago, they flirted for a bit. They had a deal in place, but Pete Carroll came in the last second and said, "No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going through a rebuild." And they offered like Roquan Smith 2 draft picks
Mac.
for Wilson, and Pete Carroll's like, "Nope." And then there's another rumor out there that Chicago and Seattle once again for Wilson trading Justin Fields and Roquan and a first for Wilson. No, I don't want to do that. Just keep Fields because I don't know what you got in him yet. If he goes anywhere, I could see him going like Pittsburgh or Tennessee, maybe even Tampa. I guess Tampa's interested in him. So I think he's going to move on this year. I really do.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of with Dave. I mean, I think Wilson's going to head somewhere. Denver. Like you said, Dave. Pittsburgh, Bucks, the Saints, maybe. I mean, you know, I. I mean, trust me, it's going to be hard to see Wilson not with the Saints, but we said that with Favre and some other quarterbacks that moved. Manning, but the trade rumor I saw yesterday kind of makes sense, but it kind of doesn't. It had Washington, Houston, and Seattle all in it. Washington would end up with Wilson. Houston would end up with draft picks and from both teams and a player or two, and Watson would end up in Seattle. Now, for me, I think any team flirting with Watson should just set that aside. I think Watson needs to focus on his off-field incidents and court hearings before any team decides to take a stab at him. But talent-wise, I mean, I think it would be a good move all around. To get Watson somewhere else, Wilson somewhere else, and then Houston gets picked. So, what do you guys think of that trade rumor? I mean, outside of the legal issues, I think it would be a fair deal for everybody.
Yeah.
Chris?
Sorry, what were like?
Trade rumor that I saw was Washington would end up with Wilson, Houston would end up with Watson, and then Houston would end up with a bunch of picks and a couple backup players. I think it was.
I mean, if the whole thing with Watson wasn't included with all of that, I'd say that'd be a great move. I mean, Washington would get a good quarterback, and Houston would get picks that they would definitely need in the draft to rebuild. But you have that looming court case, trial, which I think is this week, and I don't think anything's going to happen until that's resolved some way.
Yeah. How about you, Dave? What do you think?
For me, if Houston really believed that Watson wasn't going to get in serious trouble with the legal ramifications that are going on, they wouldn't trade him at all because they know the talent he is.
Yep.
And he's under contract, so he'd have to play. And the more he holds out the money, he's going to lose money, so he's going to eventually play for them. So if they thought that he had a chance of winning his case, they wouldn't trade him all. So with Washington, I wouldn't make the deal. I wouldn't do it. Not until I knew what was going on with him.
Well, exactly. That's the whole thing. And, Watson's name's come up again that supposedly he's picked 2 teams, but his agent said hasn't talked to anybody or, doesn't know where the rumors came out. And that'd be the Bucks in Minnesota. Again, I'm talent-wise, yeah, I take him in a heartbeat. Don't get me wrong. But with the legal issues and don't know the outcome, I wouldn't touch him with the 10-foot pole. Dave, you seem to like you kind of in agreement with me that you don't touch Watson until you get the legal issues.
Nope. A whole lot of nope. Not until you know what's going on. Because if you trade him and he ends up going to prison, you just lost out on a bunch of draft picks for nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Chris, you said
Yeah.
yep too. So I
Yeah,
mean, we all go ahead.
if everything wasn't going on with Watson, but yeah, I would.
Well,
And
exactly.
we haven't even talked about the NFL side of it. Once he gets through its legal
Yep.
sides, the NFL can still spin it for half a year or whatever they see fit. So
Yep. But the thing is if he's found, innocent of all the cases, I don't think the NFL would suspend him. I mean, but again, I mean, Dave, you brought it up. Four Bros, I think it was. Everybody deserves a second chance. You brought up Vic and stuff, so yeah, I kind of think that the same way. Once we get it all figured out, then yeah, we need to kind of give him a second chance. So,
I mean, I'm not saying what he did was right because
oh, exactly.
clearly it's not right. But
Yep.
if we can let Vic back in after the dog fighting thing, you
Yep.
gotta let Watson back in.
Yep. And if we can let Rogers in after going to Jeopardy, I mean, we should let him back in too, I guess. So, Chris, I gave you a little project for us.
Yeah.
You got that list of free agencies and some of the top guys out there?
Sure. I mean, what position do you want first?
All right. So again, guys, if you're joining us, it's Big B, Crispy Bacon, Dave, Mess Around. Sarge is kind of chatting here with us, and then Low Roll should be on shortly if he comes on.
While he's looking that up, why don't you pull up one of the ads?
Yeah,
Okay.
Chris, why don't you throw up an ad? Smart guy there, Dave. That's why you're my defensive coordinator.
All right, wait a second. Okay.
Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
All
All
right.
right.
All right, Chris. So what do we got for upcoming free agents and maybe a rumor cap number that they have?
Yeah. So you want to do position or just like in general?
We can start. Let's start. Let's just do it in general, I guess.
Okay.
So who you
So
got? Who's the top
yeah,
dog this year?
top dog is going to be Von Miller. He's
Okay.
32. His cap's going to be about 15 million, a little over 15 million.
Okay.
And you got
So where
Brandon.
could we? So
Oh,
let's start with Von Miller. Where can we see if he doesn't resign with the Rams? Where could we see him ending up, Dave?
Oh, Denver Broncos, one of their most hated rivals, Kansas City. They need the pass rush help. He'd be a great fit there.
Ooh, God, would that be that? Oh my God, I
you're
think
just
that would
going
be
from
just.
west to west to west. I mean, AFC, NFC, AFC.
Yeah, honestly, Kansas City would be a perfect fit, but I think a team in the Windy Cities might benefit from Von Miller coming to town.
Well, we'd have to get rid of either Mac or Quinn to make that happen.
Nah, play all three of them. What the
Get
hell?
rid of Quinn. We'll take
But
Quinn
all right,
back.
Chris, let's keep going. Who else you got?
Brandon Sheriff. I don't know. He is
All right,
from Washington. 18
lineman.
million.
Okay,
Yeah.
18 million. Where can we see the big offensive lineman going, Dave?
The Bengals, after that Super Bowl and the playoffs
Oh,
where they allowed all the sacks, they need all the help they can get online. So any big name lineman that's out there, Cincinnati's probably going to be number one target team.
and number 2 team would be Minnesota.
And Chicago probably three.
Yep,
We need help
yep.
too.
Oh, exactly. Any team that doesn't have a mobile quarterback or aging quarterback definitely needs some offensive line help. Bengals would definitely be a good one. All right, Chris?
Yeah. No, that'd be a good fit too. Allen Robinson's number 3.
All right.
You know,
Okay. Dave, that's your guy.
he's 17 million.
Definitely not coming back to Chicago unless the new GM talks to him and the new coach talks to him because it's a new regime, so he might forget and resign. But I don't see it. I think he wants to go play with a proven quarterback. I can see him going to a team like Kansas City or Tennessee, San Francisco, somewhere that's got a good quarterback.
Packers.
I could see him going. I can see him going to LA though.
He could there
The
too.
only
Cards against
reason why-
quarterbacks.
The only reason why I think that is because
Oh, you said LA. Sorry.
yeah, because Beckham's out with that ACL. If you do decide to re-sign him, or if you don't, I think he'd be a good replacement.
Ooh, that's a good point. I totally forgot about
Yeah.
Beckham's ACL when I was
Yeah.
talking about teams throwing money at him. He's gonna be out for
Yeah.
a while, so
Yeah, Beckham's probably going to be out most of the year, if anything. So, yeah, that might be a good fit. All right, Chris, give us the next one.
Chandler Jones, Arizona. He is 16 million.
All right. Dave, what do you think of that one?
Loro's gonna love me for saying this. I think he's gonna go back to New England and finish out his career as a Patriot where he started.
It wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, I could see, going back home and, finishing where the career started. So, all right, Chris, who else we got?
Yeah. Final one in the top 5 is going to be Chris Godwin of Tampa Bay at 15 million.
Chris Godwin would be, I think, a sneaky one there because Tampa's going to want to keep him. They're going to want to keep everybody they got, especially if they're going to go with the young guy. But I don't think Godwin wants to stick around and be kind of in a rebuild. So he's another one like Robinson. I could see possibly stay, but I could see him wanting to go to a team that has a veteran quarterback and a team that's close to winning it, and so, I mean, we threw out the Rams again, maybe Cincy, maybe Minnesota, maybe Dallas. I know Dallas, has a lot of or doesn't have a lot of cap room, but but I kind of hope Godwin stays where he's at and helps the young quarterback out. So, Dave, what about you?
Listen, any receiver that's out there, Chicago's name is going to be attached to them because they only have one receiver under contract right now, and that's Darnell Mooney. So I think Chicago might throw some money at him. But we haven't even talked about the biggest name free agent that's out there, and that's Devontae Adams.
Yep.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to get tagged by the Packers.
Devontae Adams, I have it right here. Wide receiver, Green Bay. He's about 14 million.
Yep. He's going to get tagged.
He's going to get $20 million a year. He ain't going $14 million a year.
Could you see that though? Like Devontae Adams and Godwin on the same team, and Rodgers throwing to him. I know, Dave, you're not a big Rodgers fan, but man, that would be dangerous.
I wouldn't mind us going after Adams, but the thing is, we only have like $40 million in cap space, and to tie up that much money into one guy, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I know he's a great, phenomenal receiver, probably the best receiver in the league, but I just think he's going to get tagged by the Packers. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Best receiver in the league. I think there's a guy in Minnesota that might argue with you on that, but not me. But anyway, so Chris, who else do we got on the free agent list?
Yeah. Wait a second. Nick Solder of the Giants. I know that was a big pickup last year, but didn't work out. 15.5 million.
And where's he play at?
Giants. I think he was a Lion, and then the Giants signed him.
What position?
He came to the Patriots, actually.
What position are we talking about? Name doesn't
He is left guard.
He's a guard, yeah.
Oh,
he's
okay.
a guard.
No, he's
again, we've already talked about teams needing offense. I mean, Pittsburgh, Bengals, Minnesota, Bears. I mean, a lot of those.
Solar is that he had such bad last couple of years with New York. He's gonna get it cheap. Somebody's gonna sign him for cheap to like a prove it deal, maybe even a 1-year prove it deal because he was so bad with the Giants. And like you said, any team needs help is gonna be attached to Lions. So
I'm also quick looking at the list here, from CBS Sports, and this might be a reason why Kyle Murray wants out of Arizona. Because you got Connor, you got Kirk, and you have Ertz, all free agents this year. So, I mean, does Arizona sign all 3 of those guys back, or 2 out of 3, or none of them? I mean, what do you think, Dave?
I think Connor's coming back. I don't know about Zach Ertz, he may come back, but the Bears did sign their tight ends coach, so hopefully he comes to Chicago because we only have one tight end under contract, and that's commit.
God,
So
you
I'm
guys got
hoping
anybody under contract? I mean, you got
we got like 26 free agents.
wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, because we signed a lot of guys like 1-2 year deals in the last couple of years. So,
Okay. Chris, how about you? Does Arizona sign those guys back? 2, 3? I mean, what do you think?
I think one maybe. It's
Okay.
going to be hard to sign everybody back, and I think Murray's just like everybody's going to leave. I might as well just head out.
well, the problem with Murray is it's not so much everybody leaving; he's tired of everybody blaming him for their losses, which to me is justified. You throw a pick in the play, he played terrible down the stretch. So,
but also too sad to say, everybody blames the quarterback.
Oh yeah,
the quarterback's always going to get the blame.
Yep, it's just like a pitcher in baseball. You got the ball in your hands. You give up a run here and there. Yeah, there might have been an error or something, but you're getting charged for it. So,
yep.
Murray wanted to leave. I mean, I can see why, but again, Chris, like you said it. Quarterbacks will get it, but I mean, the defense did help them out. I mean, they started 7-0 or 8-0 and started faltering. So, Chris, who else you got on our free agent tracker list?
Oh, before you get that, also with Kyler, his biggest problem was he lost his biggest weapon, Hopkins.
Yeah,
that really hurt them. So that's why I think he struggled so much.
And then you lose. I know it's on the other side of the ball, but J.J. Watt.
Yeah. That's it. Well, he was kind of on the backside of his career anyway. I don't think he.
That's true, but
yeah.
I mean,
I think he's a free agent this year too, ain't he?
I don't know. Well,
okay, so who else you got there, Chris?
Dante Fowler of the Falcons. He's a defensive end, and he's $15 million.
Okay, yeah, defensive ends. I mean, again, there's going to be teams wanting to go build that defensive side. Fowler probably going to be, might get even more than what he's projected to get. So, Dave, what do you think?
Fowler,
yeah.
Any pass rush specialist, I think Kansas City is going to be looking at them. I think Chiefs really need help up front. They needed more pressure because they didn't get a whole lot of it. So, Kansas City makes sense. Minnesota, Detroit. I'll even throw out the Raiders can always use more pass rush help. Any one of those teams. And with Watt, if he's a free agent again, I can see him signing with Pittsburgh. Just play 1 year with his brother.
Oh, why go with his brother? Both of them were there.
Yours? So, yeah, both the other brothers are in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, to play with his brothers, yeah.
Honestly, I ain't going to lie. That's where I thought Watt was going to sign last year.
I did too.
So when he came out with – I thought it was going to be Pittsburgh or the Packers. And when he came out and signed with Arizona, I was like, wow, that came out of nowhere. So,
that was out of left field, yeah.
Chris, anybody else you got?
Yeah. I'm going to skip Devontae Adams. We talked about him. Ben Roethlisberger's retired, even though he's on this list I got. Let's go Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, free safety from Kansas City. He is $14 million.
Okay. Anybody? You say he's a defensive back? Is that who?
He's a safety. He plays nickel a lot too.
Free safety.
Yeah, honestly, any decent defensive guys that Kansas City has should definitely try to re-sign them, but they can't sign everybody. Just like certain people want the Lakers to sign everybody. You just can't. So, if he does leave, Dave. I mean, yeah. You probably only got one safety on roster. So
yeah, Eddie Jackson's the only guy we have, and I think he'd be excellent with Eddie Jackson. My brother's gonna hate me for saying it, but I want Chicago to get him because my brother's a huge fan.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think he might end up?
Trying to think of all the teams that needed defensive.
Well, you can eliminate Dallas because they got no cap space. And plus it's too much for them.
Not only that, but I feel like the defense there is pretty good.
Yeah, you guys' defense is actually pretty good. I ain't gonna lie about that.
I think you go to maybe the Giants.
Giants, another team that you know, could look for some.
What?
Chris, you're never gonna live that down.
No,
Ah.
Chris,
finishing.
you're never gonna live that down. Even though we know what you meant, the way you said it,
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
so who else? Any other big names out there, Chris, that you're looking at?
let me see. Um,
Calm down, cat.
Team Hicks.
Akeem Hicks, yeah, that could be another interesting guy. Defensive end, Chicago. Dave, I might need to put my resume into Chicago and get some of this money. I mean, it doesn't sound like they have anybody. I mean,
Like I said, we got a lot of free agents. We got a lot of holes to fill. So
yeah, but I think you guys are
Mhm.
going to bring back some of these guys. I can't see you guys letting 20-some free agents walk and having yourself a whole new team.
Hicks is a big part of that defense. He's a run stopper. He does a little bit of everything for them. So I can't see them letting him go.
Yeah, I can't see them letting Hicks go. I mean, you probably have a better chance to get Mac out of it than you would Hicks. So,
Yeah.
Chris, what
Well,
do
I
you
was
think?
looking into it, and I know I said that I could see the Bears trading Mac, but the problem with that is if they trade him, there's so much dead money, and they take that hit by trading him. So his contract is so big, there's like they can't afford to really trade him.
Well,
So
and then you got to remember what you gave up for Mac too.
yeah, two first.
So exactly. So are you going to get 2 firsts back? I mean,
At this stage of his career, probably
Yeah.
not.
yeah. So, Chris, where do you think Hicks could end up?
Ooh. Man, that use defense. Let's
Yeah.
go Denver.
Okay. Yeah, Denver could always use some good. So who else do we have out there, Chris?
Domicon Sue. Kind of went down the list, but Domicon
Donkey
Sue.
Kong.
Dominant,
Donkey Kong.
dominant defensive guy, line guy. I can see this guy going anywhere, really. I mean,
Yeah.
To a team that is close, to a team that's willing to give him the money that they think he earns. So I think the open market's for him. But I tell you,
For
I would
me,
not.
I think it's a lot like Chandler Jones. He's going to go back where he started with the Lions. He's on the
Yeah,
backside of his career. He's only got a year or two left. I can see him taking a retirement tour with the Lions.
yeah, and that's sad to say. Go back to your home, and I think Sue's best mark. I see what you're saying, Dave. I think for 1 year you go to a contender. You go to the Rams. You go to KC, Cincy, Bills. Try to get that ring, and then
He
if that
did.
doesn't work out, oh, that's right. He did get one with the Bucks, didn't he?
He did. Yep.
Okay, all right, that's right. I forgot he was a part of that team. So okay, so maybe make one last run, and then go back to your lonely lines and retire. So I'm also looking at the list here too, Chris. Oh, go ahead. Who else you got?
I was going to throw out a name, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
I think he's
there's
good now.
no. Strong rumors is he might come to Minnesota, which
That
we
wouldn't be
need.
a bad choice.
We need a good backup quarterback, and with Cousins' durability, I mean, he doesn't have to worry about playing. And we lost Dave, so hopefully Dave jumps back on here shortly, unless he has something had to
I
attend
wonder
to.
if his cat did that
Yeah,
on the
I know he was
computer.
yelling at his cat. Damn cats. So, but other names, I'm looking here, Chris. I mean, speaking of the Vikings, Anthony Barr. Um, I hope they don't lose him, but I think he's going to walk. I think he's going to go somewhere else. He's getting up there, and I don't think he wants to be a part of any type of rebuild.
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton, another guy that might want to go with the proven quarterback, or might stay if Wentz stays. I mean, in the Colts. So Patrick Patterson, another aging vet for the Minnesota. Minnesota's defense could be revamped here. Um, or they stay strong. Smith Schuster, I see him probably taking a walk from Pittsburgh. I don't think he's going to want to sit and rebuild unless they get a veteran quarterback. I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
I think he's one that could go anywhere, but I think he needs to leave,
Oh, yeah.
uh, Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Now I'm going to ask a dumb question here. You might not know the answer. Quayton Diggs, is that another Diggs brother? Or is that just by name?
What team?
He's a Seattle safety. He's Diggs. Quayton?
I
Quay- I don't know if
I
that's
want to
another
say it's
brother.
just a name. I think it's just a name
Okay.
because I only
All
know
right.
two, but I can look
Because
that up.
wouldn't that be something if Diggs ends up in Dallas with his brother? I mean, that would,
That'd be cool one day. I mean,
yeah, Diggs and Diggs.
they
I
kind of.
mean,
I mean, at the Pro Bowl, they kind of switch positions off and on.
oh
They
yeah.
could go against each other in the Pro Bowl, but
Another name that I'm just looking through the list here. You know, everybody has mixed feelings on this guy. Either he's a good locker room guy and teams should take a chance on him, and then other people are like, "Oh, he's a bum." Don't know why he keeps coming up. And that's Tavares Jackson, or not Tavares Jackson, Teddy Bridgewater.
I like Bridgewater.
Um,
You should go
to
back to
me,
New Orleans.
it fit there. It worked. I don't know why they didn't resign him. I know Minnesota had him, and they didn't want to let him go, and it more or less was Zimmer that wanted him here. I mean, he had a big injury, and that might what derailed his production, but it just seems he's like not gotten a fair chance, except for New Orleans, where he was 6-0, 7-0, 8-0. I mean, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I think he's I think he should go back to the Saints. Really, I mean, you know,
it fit better actually.
yeah. And then Sarge just chiming in. He thinks it's different, so he must be talking about Diggs. He came from the Lions. Okay,
Yeah, I
I
think
was
that's
just curious.
different. No, I mean,
Um,
I thought
so
that one too.
yeah, Sarge, you are right. He does throw too many picks and fumbles. I get it. I just part of me is like it seems like everybody's like almost 50-50. Like he's a good guy, good locker room guy. Team should have him, and then the other half is like, oh, he's a bomb, and it's just a whole mixed feeling.
Yeah,
Just looking through some more of the free agent list here. No big names really jump out that we haven't covered already.
yeah, that's why I
Uh,
moved down the list because like, well,
yeah. I mean,
only
there's a
covered.
name that pops out at me, Flacco, backup quarterback. I think that's, another guy that could go around helping these young guys out, maybe up in Miami with Tua.
Andy
Maybe
Dalton.
down, maybe Dalton's another one. Maybe go down to Tampa and help out their young quarterback if they decide to go get one. Uh, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. Some of these veteran quarterbacks.
I,
I could
I
see.
think. Sorry, I think Dalton will be good in Jacksonville.
Uh,
There he is.
there he is. He's back.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button and kicked me out.
That's okay. We
Uh,
we blame the cat, so you can just blame the cat. So
I was gonna do that too, but it wasn't her fault actually.
sorry, Von Miller will be a free agent with half of the Rams' offensive line. Yeah, I mean,
ooh,
if your
that,
offensive line is if your offensive line is up, I mean, the Rams I think are going to run this back. They're going to sign as many people back as they can and keep this team intact. I think.
I mean, next to
So
quarterback on the offense, you need an offensive line.
yeah.
So
So Dave, we were just talking about some of the veteran or veteran quarterbacks that are free agents like Flacco, Dalton. Um, could you see some of those guys? Where do you see some of the guys like that? Trubisky, um, going? Do you see them signing with teams with young quarterbacks, or where do you see?
I could see it like Flacco retiring. He's been around for a while. I think he's going to hang him up. You see, because I don't think he wants to be a backup anymore. And Trubisky, I really hope he gets a shot to be a starter again because I think it wasn't really his fault. I think it was all, Nagy's offense and Nagy not using him correctly. So I think Trubisky's going to follow Dable to the Giants and go try and compete with Daniel Jones for the starting quarterback job.
Oh,
And Dalton, who knows where he's going to go? Maybe he goes back to Cincinnati, backs up Burrow.
that wouldn't be bad. I feel like he's a good backup now. I mean, he was a good starter, but now he's getting older in age, up there in age that I think he's better off as a backup.
Okay. So, looking at, since we're talking free agency, looking at some of the cap space here, I mean, your top 5 teams right now with the most cap space. You got Miami at 62 million. You got the Chargers 57 million. You got Jags 56 million. Cincinnati 48 million, and then Denver at 39 million. So all those but one team is from the AFC, and the AFC has been just on fire the last couple of years with great games and teams. So, do we see any of those teams spending a lot, Dave, or what do you think?
I think all of them. Jacksonville will spend, but the problem with Jacksonville is nobody wants to go there, and that's been their problem forever. They can't get players to sign there. And the Sarge brings up a good point. The Rams are like 40 million minus negative 40 billion in cap space, so it's going to be hard for them to bring a lot of those guys back.
Well, and also too that Jags. I think people want to go to Jacksonville. It's just because of one person they don't. But I think in general they feel like it's a good fit.
Even when Jacksonville was good, though, that nobody wanted to go there. So
Well, that's because they're losing a bunch of games.
According to this one that I've just seen here on Sport Track, Rams are only 13 about 13 under the cap.
is it 13?
Yeah, that's I'm not. Maybe Sarge got a different number, more accurate number. I don't know.
I'm
saw
looking
the
on
first website. So
Either way, they're just still under the caps.
oh yeah, anybody under the cap, you're gonna have a hard time. I mean,
it's gonna be hard to bring a lot of those guys back
I
because
mean-
of that. So
I mean, right now, the
I got-
Saints. I would hate to be the Saints right now because they're 76 million under the cap.
yeah, the Packers aren't any better. They're like 40 million in the hole or something like that.
What you got, Chris?
Oh, I got 21 million under for the Rams.
Okay, so they're kind of fluctuating in between there. So, I mean, teams under the cap are definitely going to have to make some work. I mean, Buffalo, Atlanta are just a couple million under the cap. That's easy money to work with.
Even the Giants are under. They're at 12 million.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
Giants are about 12. Minnesota's 14.
Cardinals.
You know why the Giants are under? Because they had to pay inflated contracts to get players to even want to go there because they've been so bad.
Oh yeah,
Even the
I mean,
Vikings are under.
Yep. And we lost one of our good money guys, so we'll see where that goes. Bears, you're sitting kind of right in the middle, about 30 million above cap. So
Yeah, they can make more to get to around 40 to 50 million if they designate Nick Foles for June 1st cut and make a couple other cuts on the team too.
yeah. So Adam chimes in. Don't forget about C2C expansion team.
Which one?
Okay. Which one? Yeah, I mean, no, that I mean, I don't think NFL's expanding, but
How much is our cap space again?
we're unlimited.
Okay.
We're like
That's right.
baseball. We're unlimited cap space. All right, guys. So we looked at the free agent. We looked at the draft. It's kind of too early. I mean, we know Jacksonville's got the first pick. The Lions had a second pick. What do you guys think Jacksonville's going to do, Chris?
I'm seeing a bunch of offensive linemen, like a tackle or something, going to Jacksonville. That's
That's
kind of
what I'm saying
projection I'm
too.
kind of seeing.
Yeah,
I mean,
Dave,
it
what do you
fluctuates
see?
on player, but
What do you see with Jacksonville doing, Dave?
Desard said Danucci will be our first quarterback for our expansion team.
Yeah. All
Honestly,
right,
if I'm Jacksonville, you got holes everywhere. I trade that first round pick and get as many picks as I can.
Dave, you're thinking just like me, man. You got to just trade away that pick. I mean, one guy's not going to help you. Just get as many assets as you can. Move down in the draft. I mean, you got so many holes. So
I think you use somewhat of the Rams model of what they did. I'm not saying go extreme like they did, but I think you use it to your benefit, though.
So you're kind of saying trade the picks and get veterans? Is that what you're kind of saying there?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I wouldn't
I
go
mean,
all out like they did, though.
no, you still got to have something for the future, but
I
yeah,
wouldn't either because they're not even close to contending for a championship right now.
yeah, they need the assets. I mean,
No,
you
but you
know,
do a little bit at a time, though.
yeah, I see what you're saying. Go 50-50 kind of.
Yeah,
I get
I
it.
mean, if you talk to Lowro and Isaiah, they're really close, but
Oh yeah,
know,
they're winning the
yeah,
and
they're running the
just so
division.
Isaiah and Laurel know, I got $100 with your guys' name on it, saying that Jacksonville will not win the AFC South next year. That bet is going to be closing certainly. You guys open your mouth, put your foot in there. I'm calling you guys out now. You guys are backtracking and be like, "Oh, we want to wait till free agency in the
yeah,
draft." No,
right.
no, 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 no.
That's not what you said.
Exactly. So, $100 each. AFC South will not be in Jacksonville. So, just letting you guys know out there, calling you guys out. So, SARS, what I swore their new coach will take them. Yeah, that's what they is telling us. So finally, we're getting down to the end here. Close out our 2021 NFL season. First for Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. Uh, what's our final thoughts on our teams? So, Chris, I'll let you start. What's your final thoughts on your division and team?
Division, I think it needs to get better. I mean, New York, I think they thought they had a good quarterback, but turns out they didn't. Washington, they have a good quarterback. Don't know if that quarterback's going to stick around. And then I think Philadelphia found their quarterback, which nobody really liked at first, but now they do. Um, as for the Cowboys, I feel like they have a good defense. Need to work on a lot on offense, mainly offensive line to help Dak. Dak needs to play a little better. I know everybody says that with their own teams and their own quarterbacks, but I truly think that he's playing really well. He improves every year, but he just needs to get better. But I think that's really the only improvement Dallas needs is better offensive linemen.
Also,
Well,
don't run the ball on fourth down with 13 seconds left.
Yes, that's true. I watched that plenty. I'm
Unless
like,
you got a timeout left. I mean,
Right?
yes, or go out of bounds. But I'm like, why are you running?
yeah.
Why?
The play for what
I like the
the
play idea. I
because of
liked
what
it.
they showed, they gave them all that open ground in the middle. They just didn't have a timeout. So
I liked it. I just didn't like
next year's your
the
year. Like the model
That's
for
every year for a Cowboys fan.
So mess around. Me and you are in the same division, different teams, of course. So, but kind of the same situation. New coach. New look. So, what's your thoughts on the Bears and your side of the division? What do you think?
It all starts with Justin Fields. It all starts and ends with him. It depends on how the new offensive coordinator develops him and what kind of system he's bringing in. I know they're talking about bringing in a Shanahan type offense with the zone blocking scheme, run blocking scheme, and the RPOs, the rollouts, bootlegs, that kind of thing. And I think honestly that suits Justin Fields to his strengths. I mean, you saw it last year when they did get him out of the pocket. He made great plays and good decisions in that. He's just got to learn to protect that ball and not turn it over so much. He fumbled 13 times, I think it was. Maybe it's 20 or somewhere in there. But the guy needs hit. I mean, it's the rookie thing. He'll learn. And then I know everybody's talking about Rodgers leaving, but for me, I don't want Rodgers to go anywhere. I want him to stay in Green Bay because I don't want to beat Jordan Love and the Packers. I want to be Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
Strong
No,
statement.
you said it right. And before I get to my thoughts here, Sarge just wants to remind us Mahomes did it in 13 seconds. So, but anyway, so for me, I'll start with the Vikings. New coaching regime, pretty much new front office. So I'm kind of holding hope that, see what they got to go. Kirk Cousins, one day he's here, one day he's on his way out. They're going to negotiate his contract so they can move. They're not going to negotiate his contract. I don't know. You got one more year left. Might as well just stick it out with Cousins. Let Kellen Mond learn from him. Sit another year. Bring in a veteran backup. Build your defense. See what you got. I'm not saying they're a player away. They're probably 4 or 5 players away. With a solid defense. The offense is clicking on all cylinders. With Cousins there, protect them. Protect Delvin Cook. Get a better offensive line. But I'm with Dave with the division. I mean, the Lions. Right now they're the Lions. Until they start proving that they can sign players and draft players, I'm not worried about the Lions. I think C2C and MI6 could beat the Lions with some fans. I mean,
Probably.
But I'm with Dave. I want to beat the best. Rodgers staying in Green Bay. Devontae Adams. I want the Packers at their fullest. I want to say, like Ric Flair always says, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Green Bay's the man right now. Chicago, Minnesota, right behind them. So, I you got to dethrone the top. So, I hope Rodgers stays. I hope Adams stays. Would it hurt me if Rodgers leaves? No. I mean, but again, I want to beat them at their best. I don't want to beat them with love.
I mean, I'm not going to cry about it if he leaves. That's for sure.
Yeah, at least your ownership would leave then. I mean, So with that being said, guys, give us a game. Four Bros. J Mac brought this up, and I kind of see if you guys thought about it a little bit longer because it was kind of thrown out. Best game of the year so far, or this year. Best round. What do you think is the best game?
You can't go anywhere else but the Kansas City Buffalo game in the playoffs. That was the instant classic. That's going to be talked about for years.
That whole
We're going to be telling our
grandkids
grandkids about that game when they're old enough to hear about it.
Yep. Chris, how about you?
I think it's that Raiders-Chargers game. I mean, that Kansas City one's close too, but that Raiders
The overtime, if they both tied.
Yeah,
okay.
Because it's a crazy scenario that, you could, when you talk about it, it's like, really, if both teams won in overtime, they both get in and the Steelers are out. That's basically unheard of, and if it is brought up, it doesn't usually happen like that, or come close to it.
Yeah, I mean, we joke about it all the time, but
right.
But for me, Chris, I'm glad you did bring up the Cooper Rush game against Minnesota. I thought for sure that had been your top game of the year, but
as a Cowboy fan, probably. But.
Yeah, to me that's a disappointing game. Because how do you get a guy that nobody heard of and lose to? But Bills KC game by far the best. That whole weekend, the whole playoffs was just phenomenal.
After the first week.
Yeah, after the first week, you're right. Cincinnati KC Chargers. Sarge said another instant classic. Packers Niners instant classic. There's 3 or 4 instant classics in the playoffs this year. So
yeah,
I'm happy the way the NFL season ended. No Packers Super Bowl, no Dallas Super Bowl. I know Messerov could say the same.
No Viking Super Bowl, Bears Super Bowl.
Yeah, that had happened. I mean, so all right, so let's go around, finish up the show. So mess around. What do you got on tap?
Probably a nap and then grocery shopping, and then between the ropes later tonight, where we're gonna recap Elimination Chamber. I just gotta say, this season went by. Even with that extra week, it still seemed to fly by, just like all the other ones. It's here and gone like that.
Yep, exactly. Chris, how about you? What you got going on? Making some
No,
bacon?
no, I don't know. No, tonight we got between the ropes covering that elimination chamber match on the road to WrestleMania. And then check out Coast to Coast. We got shows all week. I think we got a special show this Monday, Black History celebration or something like that. So just stay with Coast to Coast.
Yeah, exactly. And always check us out because, we're just because the football season is over doesn't mean we're not going to pop up here and have some special shows ourselves. We got free agency starting up. We got the draft. We definitely will probably be on after the draft.
Yeah, we'll
Talk
probably
about
do
some picks.
both those, I'm sure.
Yep. We'll probably have a special draft coverage on Thursday when the draft starts, round one. We'll recap it Sunday for sure. Might pop up to do USA Football League show. I know J Mac and Sarge are working on women's football with the Oregon team, so pop up and check that out. Just keep checking us out, and for Big B, Crispy Bacon, Mess Around, our man Loro and Sarge,
Grady Kitty.
and the kitty. That's the mascot of the C2C expansion team coming to you guys soon. Keep checking us out until week one or preseason of the 2022 season. We'll see y'all next year. Have a good one.